Hello everyone. I'm Riddhi Upadhyay. I'm currently pursuing my PGDM degree from BES Business School, batch 2022. Today we have with us an IIT in Madras alumni who has done his Bachelor's of Technology in Chemical Engineering from IIT Madras. After completing his bachelor's in the year 1997 to 2005, he has worked in Engineer Limited, India Limited as a senior process safety and design engineer for 7 years in New Delhi. Then from 2005 to 2007, he has worked as a safety design engineer in Petrofec Engineering in the year 2007 till 2011. He has worked as a principal process safety engineer in MW Kellogg Limited, London for 3 years and 11 months. Then after 2011, he has been working as a senior HSE engineer in UAE, Texas, and United Kingdom. After gaining 10 years of experience, he decided to start his company, his own company that is called as New Glow Engineering Limited. It is a pleasure to welcome Mr. Shrikant Kumar, the director of New Glow Engineering Limited, who holds rich working experience of 23 years in this industry. Mr. Kumar, we thank you for giving us your valuable time and helping us understanding the industrial requirements. I have a few questions that I would like you to answer. I would like to start by asking you, sir, could you please give us an insight about how your journey so far?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shrikant Kumar, and I'm a process safety engineer and also director of my own company, which is called Nuglo Engineering Limited. I graduated with a chemical engineering degree in 1997 from IIT Madras. And after graduating, I joined a company called Engineers India Limited. I joined that company in a department which was called Plant Operation and Safety Department. I joined there as a management trainee. Uh, the time I spent as management trainee was 1 year. 1 year. It was on the job training, and after that, I was promoted to a senior engineer level, and I worked in this company till 2005. My career in process safety was laid. Foundation of my career in process safety operation and safety department. Did three types of jobs. One was process design of offsite and storage facilities. The second was safety studies, and third was pre-commissioning and commissioning of refineries and petrochemical plants. So I was very lucky to get exposure in all the three fields, but the field that I liked most was process safety. So process safety comprises looking after safety of a process plant, and we do lots of safety studies. For example, HAZOP studies, HAZI studies. We conduct QRA studies, which is quantitative risk assessment studies. We do safety integrity level assessments and all that. So I was very much interested in this and started to pursue more into this. And then at the after getting experience of more than 7 years, I decided to look for opportunities elsewhere, like outside India. And when I was pursuing this, I found a good opportunity in a company called Petrofec International Limited in Sharjah, which is in United Arab Emirates. And I was lucky to get into this company and work for this company for 2 years. In this company, I was exposed to other aspects of technical safety. For example, loss prevention side of it. Loss prevention is another branch of safety which deals with active and passive fire protection, hazardous area classification, and other like plot plan safety, separation distances, and all that. So in this company, I met a lot of people of international acclaim. Like there were many people who were working there, uh, who have come from United Kingdom and United States of America, and they were bringing in their methodologies and competencies. So I was very much impressed with those people, and decided that I should work with these people because this because working with them was enriching my knowledge and giving me lots of exposure as well. So in pursuit of that, I decided that I should look for opportunities in USA or UK. So I decided to apply for working in international companies, and I was very lucky that I got into a company called MW Kellogg Limited in 2007, and this company offered me a 5-year work permit to come and work in London, and this was more than enough for me to settle in the UK, and this company gave me a very good foundation or a platform to uh, to pursue my engineering interest in process safety, and use my skills to deliver projects at a greater scale. So in 2007, I joined this company and worked on international projects of in Norway and also in Saudi Arabia and all that. So after getting lots of experience, I decided that I should go independent and start my own company. So in 2011, after working on a project for 3 years for a Norwegian client called Statoil, I decided that I should start my own company, and that's the way I laid the foundation of New Glow Engineering. And since then, I have worked for major international EPC contractors such as KBR, Snam Prajati, Fluor, and Bechtel here in the UK. And the last project that I did was for Fluor, which was in Kazakhstan, and it is one of the biggest projects in the world with installed cost of $30 billion. It's a oil and gas plant, and it has onshore gas processing, oil processing, and a very big offsite gathering area. And this plant is uh, is a enhanced oil recovery plant because it is producing only oil. The gas that is produced from this plant is what they do is they re-inject into the oil fluid to maintain the reservoir pressure. So these are the things, and I'm also uh, trying to expand my company into other areas such as defense and the nuclear industry. In defense, we have a big client here called BAE Systems. So I was trying to get into projects in BAE system, and also I was trying to get into atomic weapons establishment here in Reading. There is a place in UK called Reading. So I hope my efforts will pay off one day, and I will be able to expand my business into these areas as well. So far this my journey has been very successful, and I'm glad that I am able to achieve whatever I thought of, and whatever I could do best as per my ability and skills.
It's a nice journey, sir, and I hope you receive all the success and happiness in your life. And so this brings, with the next question, that is, what is your motivation? How do you keep yourself motivated?
The biggest motivation is the confidence that I have, confidence of my ability and skills, and 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 delivering the projects to a very high standard is the biggest motivation I have. Like I get motivated when I do jobs properly. Jobs in the sense that in a project we have to do many deliverables. Deliverables can be reports, can be calculations, can be drawings. So once you do all these deliverables to a right standard as per the project specifications and legislative requirements, then you get appreciation from the higher management. And as a business, like since I have my own company, my reputation is at stake if I'm not able to do those things properly. So the motivation is the confidence I have, and ability to do those deliverables properly and to the right standard is the biggest thing. Yeah.
So with that, I'll proceed to the next question. What is the biggest challenge you have faced in your life so far, in your career particularly?
As an independent contracting company, I was appointed. I was chosen to lead a project in a contracting company called Bechtel here in Hammersmith. So this was a this was a cross country pipeline project which was transferring gas from a very large gas field in Caspian Sea to Turkey and other countries such as Greece, and there is another country, neighboring country, and it was passing through uh, three different countries like Georgia, Azerbaijan, Turkey, and Greece. So this project had five compressor stations and seven booster block wall stations. So I was chosen to lead this project as a process safety engineer, and I consider this as one of the biggest challenge so far because I was the only person, like single-handedly, I was responsible to lead this project as a process safety engineer. Uh, I I I was chosen to review the deliverables of subcontractors as well. Subcontractors are those people who are appointed by the contractor to do some other safety studies which are required to be done by independent agencies. For example, quantitative risk assessment and assessment of safety integrity levels. So we need to appoint a third party contractors because the client, which is the company which is constructing the pipeline, they want this to be done independently, like it should not be biased, or because they want the risk to be assessment to be done by a third party which is independent of the contractor. So I had to manage the subcontractors as well. I had to participate in the safety studies as well. I had to generate drawings, and we also had the same company, like for example, Bechtel is the contractor, and they have offices in New Delhi as well, which are basically low cost centers who do drawings and other like back end engineering things. So I had to I had to coordinate with back end engineering departments in New Delhi office as well, so that we can get the right drawings drafted from the draftmen which are there in New Delhi office. And I also had to negotiate the commercial aspects. For example, if we have to appoint a third party, then I have to draft terms of reference as well. So overall, it was a very challenging, but I was very satisfied in this project because since I was the only person, I could like steer the ship, like as I thought it would have been good to do, and I was able to like move at my own pace wherever it was required to move at a fast pace. I was able to move at fast pace, and wherever it was required to move at a slow pace, I was able to do that. So it was a very challenging project, and it was also a very satisfying project in my career.
Right. So, coming with that, so how do you define success?
Pardon?
How do you define success?
Uh, Success, I define success as a sense of accomplishment and progression in career. Like for some people, it would be ability to do things that they love, and I consider myself as a successful person because so far, whatever I have thought of, I have been able to achieve that. And when I was like in beginning of career, like when I was pursuing safety studies in Engineers India Limited, I wasn't thinking that I one day I would be able to form my own company and pursue this as a career option as an independent contracting company. But circumstances were such that and the luck was on my side that I met some people in my life whom I saw, and there from I learned from their careers that if they can do, then I can also do. So this is the way I have achieved success in my life. And uh, ability to do things that I love. I I love traveling, and I think to achieve to be able to accomplish this traveling, able to accomplish like traveling all over the world. I think I need to I need to progress more, because I need to set some more targets. And as I said before, that I want to venture into nuclear industry and defense industry as well. So once you succeed in one aspect of your life, then there are other things come up, and you decide that these are the targets that needs to be achieved. And once you achieve those targets, then that's the spirit of life, and I think that is the definition of success. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, sir, as you have worked in FEED, that is front end engineering and design stage and project, perform heavily, depends on the quality of the feed work. What can be the
Mhm.
key success factor for the good feed?
um, Feed is a stage of the project, like it is a stage of the project, like it starts from conceptual stage, and then there is a feed stage, and then there is a engineering, procurement, construction, which is called as detail engineering, and after that commissioning and production. So these are the stages of different project, and feed is one of the stage of the project. Before feed, what is normally done is a feasibility study and conceptualization study. So this is done by client. Client means owner of the facility. So client can have their own department which does the feasibility study and conceptualization or conceptualization study, or they can appoint a third party contractor or a consultant. So to have a successful front end engineering design, you need to have a very robust and clear concept conceptualization study or feasibility study. The feasibility study should have everything. It should have project intentions, client intentions, and it should have like the feed team should be very technically capable, and there should not be any communication gap between the client and the feed technical team. Also, to have a very nice feed front end engineering design document, or we call it a contract, which go basically I basically the feed is done so that we generate a document or a bundle of documents which will go into tendering process for engineering, procurement, and construction. So to have this to have a successful feed, we need to have the inputs which go into carrying out feed should be clear. Like the client should be able to specify the process parameters, like what are the inlet flow rates, what are the inlet design temperature, pressure, normal operating pressure, temperature of utilities, and the process streams. It should able to tell you like whether adequate land area is available or not, whether are there any risks to the project. So all those things needs to be considered during feed so that we have a successful feed. And one of the one of the main thing about feed is to determine the cost of the project in the engineering, procurement, and construction stage. So if the feed is defined nicely, we would be able to determine the correct cost of the engineering, procurement, and construction, so that you know during the during the later stages of the project there is no cost overrun. So it is very much a necessary requirement that feed is carried out very carefully. And to achieve that, we need to have, as I will repeat again, we need to have a very nice team, a technically capable team, uh, clear communication between the client and the contractor which is carrying out the feed. Clear communication, what I mean is both oral and written. Okay, and we need to have clear project specification which would be adopted during the engineering, procurement, and construction, and during the feed, and the project specification to which the basic conceptualization study or feasibility studies has been carried out. So these are the basic things to have in a successful feed.
So, last but not the least, what is the best advice you can give us as we are about to start our personal journey, professional journey?
Since you guys are doing management, I think you all are getting very structured education through your management degree. I have not done management, but over a period of time, I have learned that one of the most important thing is ability to communicate. Both oral and written, and ability to influence people. So if you have that skill, like, you can be successful in any profession you choose. Because here in the UK, I see, like, we Indian people, we are technically very capable. We are able to sit in a corner and do calculations and design all the stuff, produce drawings and documents, but we do not have good communication skills, like basically oral skills, like your speaking ability, your oral communication, like vocabulary, and you know ability to influence people through your thoughts, and ability to communicate the complex ideas and solutions to difficult problems. So I think these are the key skills in at this moment in the world, and the people who have this kind of skills are very much sought after, because the business environment is so competitive nowadays that you know if you do not have these kind of people, like, you will lose out, and you will be lagging here, and your annual performance will go down. So if you go to United States of America or United Kingdom, you will see that the people who are able to communicate are sitting at the top positions, and they may not be having degrees. You will be surprised that they may not be having degrees, because here in the UK, I've come across many engineers, like, who have just learned engineering from their own ways, and they are also able to communicate properly, and some of them were my bosses. Some of them are lead engineers. So this is the key thing, and you should also have people management skills, and you should also focus on your soft skills, like just people management, anger management, and all that. Yeah, apart from what you are learning, that is very important. You should continue to learn and excel in that.
Yes, so as we are coming into our meeting, I would like to thank Mr. Kumar again for giving us your valuable time and giving us an insight of how professional world would look like. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. You are always welcome. If you guys need any advice or anything in your related to your degree or career, just get back to me, and you can ask Riddhi my email ID as well, and just send me an email, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Yeah.
Thank you.